Salami and bacon, my brothers and sisters. Very welcome back. We're here with the one and the only Usama Dakdok, and he's back from a very, very long drive. And yeah, but he manages to keep his humor up. He's always smiling. He's always happy. Unlike me, he's always sort of telling me, Lloyd, you need to learn to relax. You need to find some peace. Very wise man, very patient man. I'm gonna have to start learning some lessons here because I feel so guilty. Welcome back, Osama. And we're here to talk about the Quran. We're going to talk about prophethood and maybe someone called Robin Hood, who's different to Robin Hood. That's a different character in a different country. So welcome back.
I think they're related from the father's side, but besides that, I don't think they're the same people. No, 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 they're not. Hey, brother, good to see you. Happy New Year. First broadcast for the year 2025. And greetings to you and to all your wonderful audience in the name of our Lord and our Savior Jesus Christ. It is normally a 14-hour drive. I do it on 16. That is from Venice, Florida to Missouri, Marble Hill, where I live in the small community, Marble Hill. But somehow yesterday, because of the ice and the snow, it took me 24 hours. So it's like extra 8 hours for whatever reason. I'm sorry. Extra 8 plus 14. Yeah. 8 plus 14 is what? That's 22. How you figure out the number? I'm still asleep. I'm still asleep. So anyway, a little bit more hours, but made it home safely. And then when I got home, I'm looking at my driveway and it's covered with snow. I go 2 feet and I said, I'm not able to take that car up there. So I left it on the side down there, went all the way up on my foot. So God is good. The car is up now and we're good. Prophethood and the people of Ad. Prophethood and the people of Ad. I'm astonished. I'm astonished at the intelligence of the scholars of Islam, those who knows everything. And I'm more astonished about the Muslims who believe in Islam, those who believe in everything. I mean, they actually believe in everything. Imagine with me, they believe in a prophet that he never existed. They believe in people, they never existed. They believe in the book of prophet who never existed. No, not just about Hud and the people of Ad. I'm talking about every other prophet. They believe in Moses and they believe in the book of Moses. They believe in Isa and they believe in the gospel, the book of Isa. And they believe in Santa Claus and they believe in the book of Santa Claus. And I mean, at the same time, they make fun of Christians who believe in the truth of the
Here's the thing. They believe in they believe that the Gospels and the New Testament, we don't know who the authors are, so therefore they say that means that they have no credibility. Sure. Yet they believe in the book that Jesus brought, which is the Injil, which they don't have a copy of, but they believe in it. They believe in the book of Moses, which is the Torah, but yet they claim it's corrupted. And you're like, huh? So you believe in... Yeah. Okay, so who wrote? So who are the scribes that wrote the chapters of the Quran, right? And who wrote these books of all these other prophets? Where are these copies? So they're not supposed to believe in things that you don't have proper records of, yet they believe in things they don't have proper records of. That's hypocrisy.
I think it is, I call naive, blind belief, naive heart, gullible mind. And as long as the Muslims believe that way, they will never leave Islam. I mean, there's no logic, there's no common sense. The more the Muslims have a little bit of understanding to the reality of life, you cannot believe in something blindly which goes against every truth about what you're talking about. It's like you believe in A and at the same time you believe in Z, which is the opposite of A. That's not reality. And when Muslims examine their belief with reality and common sense, that's when they start, you know what? Let me know a little bit more about that people group is called the people of Ad. Let me talk about, let's examine a little bit about their prophet. Let's read what the Quran, for heaven's sake, said about that prophet and these people. And when you study it and you investigate it, you found out you believe in fairy tale. Nothing there. There is nothing to believe, not because there is some other book. It used to be the book of Hud or the book of the people of Ad, and somehow people change that book. That does not exist, not outside the Quran, not inside the Quran. There's nothing to believe in except a few words Muhammad put in a poetry form to fit with the rest of the fairy tales of the Quran. And here we go, we got another prophet, another people, and somehow some believe and some did not believe. And the lesson we learn from that, oh, if you don't believe, you're going to be punished, like the people of Hud, like the people of Saleh, like the people of this, and so on with the rest of the story. That's the whole purpose. Muhammad is creating a similar story to another prophet like he himself, except that Muhammad did not know. Muhammad did not know he would have 2 billion believers in the year 2025 believe in him. He thought, as you examine what Muhammad said in the Quran, that it's just a religion for the best nation, the Arab, the Muslim, and that was the end of it. He's gonna get rid of all the other beliefs. That's his dream of Saudi Arabia. He did not know there will be Muslims living in Europe, and Muslims living in Canada, and Muslims living in Australia, and Muslims living in America, and Muslims terrorize the whole world with his belief. He did not know that. So, as it was a case of Noah, so is Lot, so is Saleh, so is Hud, and I am just another one like them. Anyway, this is just my simple opinion.
Doesn't the hadith say that if you can't remember the verses of the Quran, fill it in with poetry?
Uh, Say again, brother. I couldn't get
Isn't
you.
there a hadith that says that if you cannot remember the verses of the Quran, just fill it in with poetry? Replace it with poetry. I believe there's such a hadith because you mentioned the poetry in the Quran. I believe there's such a hadith. A friend,
Yeah.
someone I know, refers to that or used to refer to that often.
I do not recall that hadith. Maybe there was there. There is one there, but the whole beauty of the miracle of Islam is that book, the book of the Quran. That is the miracle of Muhammad. Beside that book, there's no other miracle. As we're going to be talking, by the way, in the near future, I'd like to talk with your wonderful audience about the miracles of the Quran, the miracle of Muhammad, and the miracle of the Bible. It's be a very unique study. I hope that we'll have good time with it. And I know you wrote for me and memorize it, something to remind me. But we need to get it in another time. Of course, not our Saturday programs. We'll do it some Tuesday or Thursdays or some other days. All right. So the people of Ad, the people of Ad. What do we learn about Ad in the Quran? The story actually, the first time when you read about Ad, it's in Quran chapter 7. But what I'd like to do, prophethood and the people of Ad, if you got chapter 5 in my book, Brother Lloyd, let's make it as a guide for us. It's only 5 pages, I think, or 10 single pages. We can get it done today. I don't want to drag this to another broadcast. This is not worth it. It's a comedy. So if you can get it up, yep, here it is up, and start reading. We'll start. We'll add some thoughts more than that was written in the book. But what is written for that prophet is plenty enough. Anyway, go ahead, brother.
So the story of Hud is written throughout the Quran, although there is no specific information of who Hud was or who his people were. So the people of Ad were, or where they lived. Muhammad inserted the story in several passages of the Quran. That's a lot of passages.
No. But listen. That is the beauty about the repeat. That Quran is 300 pages. Why? Because of what you just said. He repeated and repeated and repeated. Trust me. If you take out of the Quran everything Muhammad wrote one time, just one time, the biggest story, after it was missing, you lose 80% of the Quran. That Quran as a book, as a body of material, you can read in a couple hours. But if you're going to read the story of Hud in chapter 7 and chapter 23 and in chapter 26 and chapter 1 this and chapter, I mean, I even found one reason why Muhammad repeat nonsense words, not a complete story, not a full information, that to the point you don't know who is the guy and who is his people. Where does he live? When does he live? What was his message and what was the punishment? I mean, how in the world you tell me a story in 10 different places or 15 different places, and after I read all of them, I do not know jack about what you're talking about? How good is that?
Well, I mean, the Quran is the perfect book. For instance, if you want to learn about Noah and the ark, you can go into the Quran and you can read about the ark. It'll tell you what wood it was made of, the size, the shape, the interior structure. It's a very the Quran is, you just have to believe the Quran.
Because Allah in the Quran said it is clear book. Its verses is very easy to understand. It's complete word. Trust me. If I believe what Allah said about His own Quran, you throw all the garbage scholars in a garbage can because you don't need it. If you believe
So,
what Allah said about His Quran, you and the Quran, you don't need any. You don't even need
so
to
if
listen to it right now. Shut
so if
down
we
the
throw
Quran.
away the Bible,
Huh?
so if we throw away the Bible because it's corrupted, and we go to the Quran to find all the details about the Ark, what will we find? For
Uh,
instance,
we found nothing. I remember it was Nothing. That is a word
nothing.
I can't spell right in English because I don't
So
spell
the
too many
Quran
words.
has literally nothing on the Ark, no information whatsoever.
Okay, that's exactly what it
So,
is. So you got all these start from chapter 7, chapter 89, mashallah, repeated verse of Allah. And what do I believe about it? Go ahead, read, brother.
so I do not believe there was a prophet named Hud simply because if he had existed, the Bible would have told us about him. Moreover, no historical or archaeological evidence exists to show that either the man or the location ever existed. Muslims have attempted to provide proof, but what they've done is to copy a fraudulent picture, alter it, and assert that this is one of the people of Ad, who shows men to be over 50 feet tall. It's like
Yes,
what, 12 meters?
but listen. At this time, if I remember, people was getting shorter because remember in Adam days used to be 90 feet, so they get short to 50. If I tell you another story about a guy who was 30 feet tall, that means we're getting closer to where we are today. And then you move to the 20 feet and then 10, and here we are
So,
6 feet today. Can't you
so
see
why
the
don't we find
evidence?
skeletons
What?
of short? Why don't we find skeletons in the past of 90 feet people, 60 feet, 50 feet, 40
They,
feet?
they are there. It just you have to believe it so you can see it in your head.
Right. Okay. So, right. The CIA is definitely hiding it in the Smithsonian for sure. So,
Uh,
so the
yeah.
photo caption states that the people of Ad lived from 70,000 BC to 7,000 BC. Okay. Muslims claim they were the ones who built the pyramids. In reality, none of the
Okay,
Egyptian
see,
mummies were
it makes
taller.
sense. Listen. If you are 50 feet tall, don't you think you build the pyramids? Now we are 5 feet
Um,
tall, we build normal homes. It makes sense scientifically. I mean, come on, bro. It must be true. The bigger you are,
yeah.
the bigger your house is at, you know?
Yeah, no, so look, I mean, as Protestant believers says, they are there. They just won't let you see them.
Yep, exactly. But
So in
wait a minute.
reality,
Muslim believe that there was life on Earth 70,000 years ago. Man, evolution did a good number on them. If you
it's
believe, if
Muslim
you
life,
believe,
so
yeah,
it's not intelligent life.
no, they were smart. They built the pyramids. Hello,
Okay. But,
come on, man. Don't insult my Egyptian now.
but in these Egyptian drawings, do they show like people that are like 20, 30, 40 feet tall,
Do you know? Do
50
you know
feet?
that Khufu? Let's name it this way. Khufu, who's the pyramids was built for, he's actually a little bit taller than me, a half inch taller than me. Mr. Khufu, the guy who built the biggest pyramids, the biggest one, he's 5'9". I'm 5'8". Mashallah, mashallah. Why that guy
Wow.
was too short, man? Somebody cut his legs off or something. I don't know what they did to him. Okay, go ahead. Keep reading.
So
That's
people Islam and its stories, right? In
even
reality,
Ramses. Listen. Even Ramses the Great, he was not even 7 foot. Ramses the Great was six something. He's a big guy. He's 6 foot. It's like your height, maybe. I don't know. Keep going.
none of the Egyptian mummies are taller than 6 feet or older than 4,000 BC. That is crazy.
But somehow the pyramids was built before the Egyptian exist. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. You have to understand, the Egyptian in the Arabic language, we call them Masriyin. They are the descendant of Masraim. Masraim is the grandson of Noah, who is the son of Ham. So Noah have Ham, have Masraim. Masraim is the father of all the Masriyin. So after the Tower of Babel stopped from being built and God touched their tongues and they spoke different language. One of them by the name Masraim. Somehow that guy, when God touched his tongue and his people, his family, his wife, his 3, 4 kids, they spoke Coptic. And they went to Egypt and they lived in Egypt. And that is the seed of the Egyptian. That took place less than 4,000 years ago. Oh, 4,200 when the flood took place, 4,300. So, I mean, you cannot believe in Noah and you cannot believe in the Egyptian and you believe 70,000 or even 7,000 or even 6,000 or even 5,000 years ago. It does not work. And that's okay.
You know, why doesn't someone take Islam to task on these crazy, clearly false, illogical, historical claims they make? Why doesn't someone say, look, I mean, this is about as authentic as the Book of Mormon?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. No. All right. Let's talk about brotherhood.
No, who was he? In Ibn Kathir's writings, he stated that Hud was Ibn Salak. He apparently meant Salah or Salah. Ibn Arfaxad, he apparently meant Arfaxad. Yeah, that's in the Bible. Ibn Shem, Ibn Noah. Ibn Kathir then contradicted himself by saying that Hud was Ibn Salak, Ibn Arfaxad, Ibn Shem, Ibn Noah. In another opinion, Ibn Kathir said that Hud was Ibn Abdallah, Ibn Rabah, Ibn al-Jarud, Ibn Nad.
I like Abdullah. He is a brother of Muhammad because Muhammad is the son of Abdullah. Hud is the Ibn Abdullah, Muhammad Ibn Abdullah. Maybe Muhammad and Hud were brothers. Yeah.
That would work in the Quran. I mean, yeah, Miriam was the sister of Noah, right?
Brother Lloyd, if I'm reading a writing of anybody, I don't care if it's a Christian theologian, a Jewish theologian, my history teacher, my geography teacher, somebody who will give me 4 different opinions about one thing and he's ended by saying, and Allah knows best, he is not a scholar, he's not a teacher, he's a dumb. I will not listen to him anymore. I'm not interested to a book of bunch of opinions. And these are the scholars of Islam. So you don't know who the guy is, and they give me a bunch of names. And more important than all of that, how did Ibn Kathir know that? Was he there?
Yes.
Did he go to the same high school with Prophet Hud, so he knows about him?
No doubt.
Yeah, it must be true.
Yep. Ibn Kathir has secret knowledge. He knows.
Yep.
So it makes no sense, but fine. So no Muslim scholar can come up with credible genealogy of Hud, and Ibn Kathir gives us 3 sets of names. Where does he get them, as you say? So here's the question we have to ask. What source did Ibn Kathir use to come up with these names? All that he said was, Hud came to his people. Wow, that's very precise.
But see, that make it a fact. Because if Prophet Hud went to his people, which by the way, we know their name to be the people of Ad, you got it? What else do you need to know about it? That's enough for us.
Yeah, I was talking about a new prophet as well. Usama and I were talking about a new prophet before this. Like in the UK, there was a prophet called Robin Hood. Robin Hood would steal from the rich and give to the poor because the rich were stealing from the poor. So he'd give it back. But in Islam, they speak of the coming of a man called Robin Hood. And Robin Hood would just steal from people.
And no, but you don't just steal from people. You steal from people because you are living in obedience to Allah, who told you, go and steal from people. That is living in obedience. That is, you put your faith into action. So don't.
He would rob caravans. So his name was Robin Hood. So there's a clear similarity here. We have Robin Hood. They have Robin Hood. There's definitely some similarity in these.
I was listening this week to Muhammad Saleh, and he got this man who live in Europe, by the way. Imagine, he live in Germany, and that man believed it is absolutely right for the Muslims to kill the German men, to take their wife and daughters, their everything they got, and take over the country, perform jihad. So Muhammad Saleh asked that man, where are you from? He found out he's from Syria. Okay, he said, if the German people went to Syria and did the same thing, kill the man, take the woman, rapes him, and take everything you got in your country, would this be okay? He said, no, absolutely not. And here's the reason. Look at the logical reason. Because when Muslims do it, they're living in obedience to Allah. When the infidel do it, they're living against the will of Allah. Man on man. So let all the Muslim kill every man in the world, take all the wives and daughters, raise them, and make the whole world Islam. Because that is so you look at it as it is stealing, when in reality he's living in obedience to the command of Allah. That is the difference. I hope you got it.
You know, this thing that's happening in the UK, this scandal. This is, I hope it'll be a wake up call, because this might be the thing that tips Western civilization over the edge. And finally, they say, look, we've got enough of Islam and these people in Western countries, because this is the beliefs these people hold. And it's a threat. And yet, Westerners are so naive, or at least their governments are so naive.
Well, it is sad, and it's been there for over 20 years. They just talk about a case happened 9 years ago today. This is a comedy. This is a comedy. The Muslim in England raping the women and the daughters, and the British people are super stupid. God is my witness. If I am a father and somebody touched my daughter and the police will not arrest him and they will not find him guilty and they will not throw him out of my country, I will blow up that man
But the
and his
police are
family and
arresting
his
the
mom.
fathers. The police
Yeah,
are arresting the fathers for disturbing the peace, for stalking these men. Literally, it's shocking. It's
they
shocking.
become qawadin. Qawad is the word ars in the Arabic language. That is when a man take a woman to a Muslim man to sleep with, but they're doing that to their own daughters. They get the Muslim men to enjoy their daughters for fun, for free. I mean, at least mu'arras, the qawad in the Muslim world, make money. You call him in English the pimp. The British government, the British police are pimp for the Muslims, giving them their daughter to sleep with and move on with your life, man. Make the Muslim
Yeah.
happy. It makes the Muslim happy. After all, the
Shocking.
good people believe in Prophet Hud and the people of Ad, and that's all what we need to learn about the Muslims. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. FM Knight says, myself, my husband, and my 4 children put together add up to 40 feet. Maybe we could have lived during that time, and I testify that we stood on each other's shoulders and we built the pyramids. So she's an ancient Egyptian right there.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be that big. Yep. That must be
Yeah.
true.
So no extra information was given about Hud by Ibn Kathir. The obvious answer is that although he misspelled some of them, these names can be found among the descendants of Shem, as written in Genesis 10:20 to 31. Ibn Kathir described who the people of Ad were and where they lived. And he
Okay.
stated that they were Arabs who lived on a sand mountain in Yemen, from Amman to Hadra.
See
Okay.
that itself will blow your mind. You're talking about two different people group. The one who were from this part of Noah's one son and mix him with the other part of the other Noah's son, because obviously it, Ibn Kasir is creating a theory and nobody argues him. And God help him. He led he actually went to Genesis, got some names, mix them together, and make a credible character about the prophet by putting 4 or 5 different names together. And now he defend Islam, and now he defend the word of Allah in the Quran. He is helping Allah, he's helping Muhammad beyond imagination. If it was not for Ibn Kasir and people like him, Muslims today would have never believed in anything in the Quran. You make the Quran credible by adding some names, some information here and there, even though most of it is a comedy. I mean, nobody who's logical will believe in that. Yeah, here's Yemen.
I'm just trying to find the sand mountain that he's referring to. I mean, where's this sand mountain?
But even Lord, if I found the sand mountain, even if I found the pyramids, even if I found, well, it's not because you're mixing a lie with some truth, it makes a lie true. That's what I'm trying to say. Hud does not exist. The people of Ad, they never exist. And if there was a people by the name Ad, if there was a guy by the name Hud, he's not a prophet. There is no message. There is no story. There is no information. Mixing Hud with the pyramids does not make Hud real. Mixing Hud with some specific mountain, specific valley. Well, I can create a story right now, and I will make it so good, and I will put it in Las Vegas. Does that make my story true? Because there is Las Vegas?
Oh, no, let's look up Amman, Yemen. And there we go. Okay, well, that's Amman Insurance Tower, but I still don't see a sand mountain. So yeah, looks okay, fine, but that's credible information right there.
Yeah,
So
it must be there because Ibn Kathir said, and he is a scholar.
yeah, they used to live in tents with huge pillars. Yeah, and in fact, my people used to live in tents,
How big is
but they
the
used
tent?
to use rabbits. But these rabbits had huge ears that would stick up, and they would put the tents on the rabbits' ears. Same
So they
thing.
can stick their head and their body outside the tent because they're tall people. But the pillars also to help the tent to carry the tent. What is the height of the tent of all the people who live in tents? 8 feet, 10 feet. Why you need a huge pillar to hold the tents or to make a? What is the purpose? What are they doing?
Besides, I mean, look, no, because you had these what they called pillar camels. These are
Yeah.
special camels designed to carry pillars, and then the
Hmm.
other camels would carry the tents. I mean, it's that's everyone knows
Now,
that.
now we know it must. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm sorry. That is a piece of information I needed to hear from you. Now I know for sure. I was a little bit doubting, but now I
No, these
got
were
it.
camels with 6 legs that could carry pillars
Camel with
because
six
that
legs to give you more
you know,
strength.
they're
Actually,
extinct now. They're extinct now. They
and they
they
have
they
four
extinct.
humps. Listen, listen. The camels have four humps, two and two, and you put the pillar between the four humps so as you don't fall.
Each hump had a cylinder, so it's actually a 4-cylinder camel.
And it go up after you put the pillar, and then you travel and you put the cylinder down. And that's where they figure out how to make the 18 wheelers to carry the wood and the stuff. See, it's the whole idea. Yep,
Right. This is okay. Fine. I mean, who can believe this? Just on the face of it, this is nonsense.
yep, yep, yep. According
And so, according to Quran 89:67, have you not seen how your Lord did with Ad
That's
at
a question,
Iram?
man. Listen, listen. If you ask a nonsense question and you said yes, you now make the question true. If you said no, now you're stupid because you have not seen them. Have you not seen how your Lord dealt with Ad? Oh, yeah, he dealt with them justly. Good. Oh, I don't know. You're stupid. Now learn from me. Go ahead. Other question.
So, Ibn Kathir said these, right? That with the columns. So, yeah, they had columns. That's good to know. They had columns there. All right. Ibn Kathir stated the city of Iram used to be a city which moved in a circle around. It was a spaceship city. You know what? This makes me Nation of Islam, the mothership. Usama, I think we're onto something here.
Look, look, look. As I keep talking with you, my program, I will give it like that, going like that. Go, are you following me? That is
You're
exactly.
orbiting.
By
Are
the
you are
time the
you
show will
are you
end,
on
I'll
the
be in
spaceship?
circle back the other way. Okay, go ahead. Do you think that's where they made the gate stories, the gate show? What do you call it? They go through the circle and go from
Oh,
one center to
Stargate.
Scar. Yeah,
Stargate.
that's where they come up with Scargate. That's here. Stargate. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, this is Islamic science right here. The source and the origin of science in the Quran. Space science. Sometimes it was in Sham. Sometimes it was in Yemen. Sham is Syria,
That
right?
is the
Egypt.
Sham.
Egypt.
No, that is Lebanon, Syria, up north, the Levant.
Living
That
in
is Sham.
Syria.
So the city keep moving.
Sometimes it was in Yemen. Sometimes in Hejaz.
Mhm.
Sometimes in other places. He then wrote there was no proof of such a thing.
Oh my
Okay.
word! Why you make me so excited about the show Stargate, and now you tell me it's not true? That is what I like about Ibn Kathir. He give you 10 opinion and he say Allah and Allah Alam, and Allah knows best. Or he give you something exciting, you get to like it and say, no such a thing. Why you're writing to me no such a thing? Wasting your time and my time, putting garbage in books.
Well, the
Okay.
correct hadith of Ibn Haban stated there were 4 prophets who were Arabs: Hud, Salah, Shoaib,
Wait a
and
minute,
Muhammad.
wait. I thought Muhammad is the only Arab prophet. He is the only prophet who was sent to the Arab world. How can you tell me these other guys are Arab too?
No,
Come
well,
on, man.
look, you all know no prophet was sent before Muhammad except Abraham, Ishmael, and at least those two.
Yeah.
Nobody was sent before.
For those who believe Muhammad is the only true prophet of the Arab to the Arab world, how about Hud? How about Salih? How about Shaib? How about Ishmael, the first man who spoke the Arabic language? Wasn't he a prophet?
Yeah, so was Adam, who was in Arabia and built the Kaaba, and so was Abraham, who lived in Arabia, in Mecca, and built the Kaaba.
So Muhammad is not the only true Arab prophet. Is that what you understand from so far?
He was the first one, the only one, because no prophet had been sent before with a revelation except for Abraham and Hud and Selah and Shuaib and a
Ishmael.
couple of others. Yeah,
Couple.
Ishmael. So
By
yeah,
the
that makes sense. That's Islamic mathematics and it makes sense.
God help us.
So this is strange, for Muhammad claimed that he was the only prophet to come to the Arab people and no one came to his people before him. So here we come to another disagreement among Muslim scholars. Some said Hud was the first man to speak the Arabic language, which is interesting because the Arabic language is only dated to, at least the written form, what, the 400s, you know? So
Not
others said
seven
that his
thousand
father,
ago, not 7,000 to 70,000 years ago. No, no, maybe
no,
maybe
because
not.
before that you only had South Arabian and you had some other languages, but South Arabian is the older one, and that's not, strictly speaking, that's not Hijaz Arabic.
Yeah.
So some said Hud was the first man to speak the Arabic language, others that his father was the first one, however, others said Noah was the first one. Really? Finally, others said Adam was the first one who spoke Arabic. Where's the written record? Where's the evidence? This is
I, I
insane.
believe I believe the earth itself spoke Arabic. When Allah spoke to the earth and it answered him back, Allah spoke to the earth and the heavens also spoke Arabic. Remember when Allah said, "Will you come to me willingly or gradually?" And they said, "We will come to you willingly." The earth and the heaven spoke to Allah in the Arabic language. Unless you believe they spoke in some other language, I doubt it. I think they spoke Arabic. But go ahead.
So, question. Why were Allah and the angels not the first ones to speak the Arabic language? That's a very good question. That's a fairly good question. So they're going to say, no, 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 the first ones on the earth to do it.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll change the story.
No. Ibn Kathir. God
Ibn
bless
Kathir
him.
stated that Ishmael was the first man who spoke classic Arabic, and he learned it from those neighbors who used to visit him. And so he was the first one to speak Arabic, and he learned it from the other Arabic speakers who used to visit him.
You got it. As a matter of fact, the first wife he married, she was an Arab lady, and that is her folks is the one who taught him Arabic. And then he divorced her according to the wish of his father Abraham. And then he married another woman, and those also continued to educate him about the Arabic language. But somehow he is the first one. How can he be the first one who learned it from somebody else?
This hurts my brain. This,
Right now I have a headache. I thought I was tired from traveling 24 hours from Florida to Missouri. In 5 minutes, I got twice as worse headache than that which I had in the last 24-hour
I mean,
driving.
I'm sorry, but I read this and I'm like, can't people just see on the face of it? This is trash.
And that's my point, brother Lloyd. If you talk to the Muslims about Prophet Saleh and Prophet
Wave.
Hud and Prophet whatever other names, they will believe in them. And then he asks the question, what do you know about the Prophet? What do you know about it? What the Quran talk about? Have you read what the Quran said? Oh no. My encouragement for people who want to lead Muslims to Christ or lead Muslims out of Islam, just make them read the Quran. And if they really want to get real smart, make them read the scholars' interpretation of the Quran. And automatically, you already led them out of Islam. Automatically, you don't have to go any further. Make him read the story of Hud and the people of Ad, and then he read the scholars like Ibn Kathir, Al-Tabari, Al-Qurtubi, Jalain, and I promise you, you ask him after a good couple hours reading and studying, I said, are you still a Muslim? He said, absolutely not. That's it. You don't need to go any doctrines or any ideology or any belief. Just pick up anything in the Quran. But as long as Muslims are ignorant of the Quran and ignorant of the interpretation of the Quran, or what you call fabrication by the scholars, they will continue to be Muslims. They will never leave Islam.
Yeah. This is Truth Seeker comes along and why didn't you answer the questions? Try not to change the topic, just answer the questions, Truth Seeker. So Ibn Kathir stated Ishmael was the first man who spoke classical Arabic, and he learned it from those neighbors who used to visit him and his mother. So yeah, no one spoke Arabic except him, but he learned it from the people who spoke. Okay, fine.
And you know
Ibn
what?
Kathir continued.
Before we leave
Yeah.
this area, if you study the Bible and what the Bible said about Ishmael, you found that his mother was Egyptian. She never spoke Arabic. You found his wife was Egyptian. She never spoke Arabic. And you found his sons, 12 sons, were Ishmaelites. They had nothing to do with Arab. And you found they lived up north between Havala and Assyria, which have nothing to do with the Saudi Arabia Peninsula. And you know, he died and he was buried up north. He never set a foot near Mecca or in Saudi Arabia. So everything you're going to tell me about Ishmael is a lie. Go ahead.
Yeah, like everything else we've been reading.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when you tell me Abraham told his son divorce your wife and he married an Arab lady, married an Arab lady, that's not in the Quran. The Quran never said Ishmael married an Arab wife. The Quran never said Ishmael learned the Arabic, classic Arabic from somebody. We don't have information. It's not here. You go to the Bible, and the Bible gives us a different, complete story about who is Ishmael, where he lived, whom he married, where he died, how many children he have. So you leave the book with all the information you need. This is everything you need. And you believe in fairy tales made by some people whom you consider to be scholars, who interpreted nothing was written here. They're fabricating some information for you, and you believe that the Bible is wrong and the Quran is right. Believe something is not here, and you believe it to be true. And what is written here in the Bible, you believe is not true. MashaAllah. I must be very, I must be a great scholar beyond measures that I can figure out that what is in Islam is a comedy. Go ahead, bro.
You are a great scholar, Usama. You've managed to understand the Quran, which, that's an incredible feat. And right there, what you've done here, this is a service to humanity.
If people just read it, if people just learn it, if people just share it with other friends. That's why my heart desire is from people watching these broadcasts we do on you and I, and we're having fun talking about some stuff I wrote down. Share that. That video need to go to 1 million people before we end it. And the 1 million people share it with another 1 million people. Now we reach out 100 million people. Now the whole world figure out there's some joke. It's called Islam. There's some comedies is written about the Quran, and that will end it. That will end it.
It's crazy that you have this, everybody wants to get along. And no, some ideas are just bad ideas. Some religions are evil and they just need to be destroyed. As simple as that. They just need to be destroyed. Some religions are evil, and this is one of them. Ibn Kathir continued by saying that the people of Ad were the first ones who worshipped idols after the flood. They used to have 3 idols, Sada, Samoda, and Hira. Okay, Hira is like a Greek or Roman idol, or a Roman goddess. That is why Allah sent them to their brother Hud. Hira is a Roman or Greek goddess? Greek, I believe.
Yeah.
The following passages.
Remember, he used to be in Yemen too, but the city used to travel around. So obviously, he must be up in somewhere in Europe before he went to Yemen. That's actually after he went first by the Levant. So he went from Europe to Levant to Yemen, but he forgot to mention that to us. So it must be true. The Greek people, Greece, down there in Europe, up north a little bit.
We just need them to prove. I mean, we can take biblical archaeology and we can take Islamic archaeology and just
excuse me, whoa, Islamic what?
Islamic Quranic archaeology, and we just put them all side by side.
What you're talking about doesn't exist.
Yeah, but let's make them prove it. Let's make them prove it. The religion of truth. Let's make them prove it.
Yeah, must be.
So they used to have 3 idols, and this is why Allah sent them to their brother.
Now, where did Ibn Kathir learn this information from? What verse in the Quran? What chapter?
There's a guy. So there's a guy called Ibn Jimmy. Ibn Jimmy, yeah, correct. And he got it from the jinn.
Thank you. I thought maybe
he drank a lot of gin, and then he would come up with these stories.
You're making Christy laugh, man. I could not make her laugh even if I thought a good joke. That's better than it. Go ahead, Genie. Yeah, drink gin. Yeah.
So The following passage gives a long story of Hud. Ibn Kathir explained that the people were infidels and rebellious Arabs. They were worshipping idols. Allah sent a messenger, therefore, a man from among them, calling them to worship Allah alone. If
Mhm.
they obeyed him, Allah would forgive them and give them the good of this world. If they did not obey him, Allah threatened them with punishment of this world and the world hereafter.
And here's the point, brother Lloyd. That is the whole purpose of why Muhammad invented the story about prophethood and the people of Ad. What happened to them is going to happen to you. Allah sent him and Allah sent me. They did not believe in him, and you must believe in me. Otherwise, you're going to be punished with the punishment of his people if you do not obey and believe me. This is a made-up story Muhammad made to tell them, look, he's Prophet Hud and I am he, Prophet Muhammad. Learn from Hud and his people. Otherwise, it's going to come back to you. It's going to bite you so bad. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so what he stated in Quran 7, 65, 66, and to Ad, their brother, Hud said, O my people, serve Allah. You have no God other than him. Do you not fear? And the leaders of his people who became infidels said, surely we see that you are of unsound mind, and we surely think you are of the
You know,
liars.
you know who Muhammad was talking about? He's talking about himself. I'm not kidding you. We're not talking about Hud. The man did not exist. We're talking about Muhammad. Except that in the beginning, Muhammad did not ask them for any wages. He was going to do it for free. And then a little bit later, he asked for 20% because now he got enough followers. He can go and fight and makes a lot of money from the spoil. So Muhammad get 20%. And by the way, that statement, all my people serve Allah. You have no other God than him. That statement is repeated about every other. We said that before. We can do another program, not today, where I show you these words said by Prophet Lot are the same words said by Prophet Hud, are the
Yeah,
same words said by Prophet Saleh, are the same words said by Prophet Abraham. They're all this. It's like they're copy and paste, man. Copy and paste. Make it easy so people can go on with like, okay.
right. Ibn Kathir stated that the people of Ad thought it was a foolish thing when Hud asked them to leave their idols, which they believed were helping them, and insisted they worship Allah, for they did not believe that Allah had sent him at all. Hud's response was to defend himself by explaining that the situation was not what they thought, that he was indeed faithful, without lying, and he had not added or taken away to cause any misunderstanding, disagreement, or worry. This is described in the following verses of the Quran, 767 to 70. He said, O my people, there is not unsoundness of mind in me. True story. But
Yeah.
I'm a messenger from the Lord of the worlds. Trust me, bro.
Yep.
I deliver to you the messages of my Lord, and I am to you a faithful advisor. Trust me, bro. Or do
Mhm.
you wonder that a reminder came to you from your Lord upon a man among you to warn you? And remember when he made you viceroys after the people of Noah and increased you in tallness of stature.
Ooh. So they were taller than the people before them, or Allah just kept the same heights, or I mean, what is it? And by the way, see, notice here, Muhammad has made up a story about a guy, and he tied it with a true name, which is Noah. We all know Noah. We all know about Noah. Of course, they come after Noah. They could not be coming before Noah because if they came before Noah, they'll be drowned with the people of Noah. So now, see, it makes sense. Add lots of fabrication with some truths about some guy by the name
No,
of Noah. And here we go. You got the
he
verse of the
made
Quran.
them taller because the water came up to this level and he made them taller than the water so they could breathe. So they were okay.
Oh, that's why they made him taller.
Yeah, because after the flood, they had to
I mean,
make them
how
taller.
can you make people taller, man? I'm trying to figure out. I mean, you just you have a like human stretcher. You put the guy in there and stretch him out and stretch him, and you get him taller and taller. How you make that? Can you make them taller?
I'm going to get, for instance, I'm planning to have a tattoo made of me all over my whole body, but just 3 inches taller.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. So, so remember the favors of Allah that you may prosper. And they said, have you come to us that we may serve Allah alone and leave what was our fathers serving? So bring us what you promise us, if you were of the truthful. Ibn Kathir says, by stating that the response of the people to Hud was a careless one. They refused to leave the gods which their fathers and relatives worshipped. they challenged Hud by saying, "If you are truthful, then bring the torment and punishment you claimed upon us." And he replied, "You deserve the uncleanness of the idols and the anger of Allah to be upon you. For you worshipped idols you and your fathers carved and named. Allah did not give any authority. If you refuse the truth and continue in the vanity, the torment of Allah will fall upon you." This was Ibn Kathir's interpretation of Quran 771. And he said, "Indeed, vengeance and wrath fell on you from your Lord. Do you dispute with me in names that you and your fathers named them which Allah did not send? It sent it down with authority. So wait, surely I am with you among those who wait." I'm like, huh? Just
Same
reading this.
word. I can change the story now. Let's go to Prophet Saleh. Same word. Let's go to Prophet Lot. Same words. Like Muhammad is running out of words, or those who help Muhammad to make the poetry of his Quran, they are just, short vocabularies. They use the same words, same thing. Yep, yep. And
This is,
Muslim.
I mean, this is like, this is so childish the way it's written.
Yeah, well, because remember that happened a long time ago. So it was different then.
As for the punishment from Allah in Quran 772, so we delivered him and those who were with him with mercy from us, and we cut off to the last those who denied our verses, and they were not believers. And this theme is repeated in Quran 11. And when our command came, we delivered Hud and those who believed with him with a mercy from us, and we delivered them from a thick torment. And this was our...
Yeah, whoa. See, you got more information here. The first one just said torment. This one here, it's a thick. So you get more details, more information. I mean, you got it. Okay, go ahead.
And this was odd. They disbelieved in the verses of their Lord and rebelled against his messengers, and followed the command of every powerful stubborn. And they followed a curse in this world and on the resurrection day. Is it not surely Ad became infidels of the Lord, except away with Ad, the people of Hud? I mean, this doesn't even make any sense. It's so badly written.
It's not just so badly written. There's nothing in it. So far, I'm waiting to read all these verses in the Quran, the repeated story of Prophet Hud and the people of Ad. I want to know, how did they die? Noah, I know it was flood. Sodom and Gomorrah, I know far city were burned to the ground. In the Old Testament, read about people killed by the sword. Okay, now what happened to these people? Go ahead, keep reading. Maybe it's in the next verse coming up. Go ahead.
So the shout seized them with the truth. So we made them as scum. So away with the unjust people.
What
Yeah,
shout?
you don't want to.
What shout? Ah! Is that shout?
Look, man, this is a...
When Allah mentions the Quran, shout. I mean, can you explain to me what he's talking about? What shout here? I thought it was a sick torment. Now it became a shout. And before that, it was something else. And after that, it's going to be another thing. How in the world these people, the wicked people, died? Okay.
I mean, the shout seized them with the truth, so we made them as scum. I think I dated that girl before. I strongly suspect. But I could be wrong.
She shouts and speaks the truth at the same time. Go ahead.
The Quran continues, so they denied him, so we destroyed them. Surely, and this is a sign, and most of them were not believers.
How
And
did
surely your
Allah
Lord,
destroy them? How did Allah destroy them? Can you help me out there?
he used destruction on them.
Yep. Now I understand. Okay, I got it. The Quran is so clear that I need your help with every verse you're reading so far. Go ahead.
As for the exact description, Ibn Kathir referred to Quran 46. So when they saw it coming straight for their valleys, they said, "It is passing with rain. Yet it is what you are hastening with, a storm. In it is a painful torment."
So it was a storm, and that's where the shout came from. Was this a sick torment?
It's a storm of shoutiness. Yes.
Yeah. Was the truth? The truth was in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it.
So this was the beginning of the torment. They were in a drought and they were seeking water. Did you know that?
Right. Let me look. Let me look in the Quran. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, brother. Just give me a minute, please. Ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. It's not there, but Ibn Kasir know it. He's a scholar. He must know the truth.
It's the jinn. I tell you now, it's the jinn. It's the
He's
jinn
drinking
talking to
gin.
him.
Yeah. Yep. Mhm.
When they saw the heavens with a cloud, they thought water was coming, but instead it was a torment. That's why Allah said, "This is what you were hastening to, which is the falling of the torment." Ibn Kathir said that interpreters said that Allah withheld the rain for 3 years. This was difficult for them, so they sought help from
Whoa,
Allah.
whoa, 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 whoa. Who is in the Bible? God holds the rain for 3 years, actually 3.5 years to be exactly. Prophet
Iram?
Elijah. Prophet
No?
Elijah. Prophet Elijah. Are you talking about Prophet Elijah or Prophet Hood? Make up your mind. Who are you talking
It
about?
must no. It can't be Yah because Yah means Yahweh. It has to be Elijah Allah.
Yeah,
It's Elijah Allah.
Elijah Allah. Yeah, must be it. Hood.
This
Hood.
is so
Okay.
crazy. So they stole another story from the Bible.
That's what the Muslim scholars are doing. I mean, you have to think about it. You heard a story, you read a story, somebody mentioned something. Let's use this here and there, here, and then now we made a beautiful, understanding, easy Quran for the naive Muslims in the world to believe in and continue to worship Allah. MashaAllah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, thank you for the ikmeh. So yeah, this is why it is said that the people of Ad sent 70 men to bring them a drink from Mecca. Okay, yeah, Mecca is known for having the Zamzam well, right? They met
wait a
with a
minute.
man by the name of
70
Muawiyah.
men, listen. There was no water for 3 years. And they sent 70 men to Mecca to bring a drink. How much water is he going to carry? Why not the whole city go to Mecca and drink, and then the city, the whole earth, remember, used to go and circle around? Why not go there and drink and then come back later when things cool off?
Pillar camels. If they can carry a pillar, they can carry water.
Oh, between the four humps.
I mean, for instance, you learned if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. So if you can carry a pillar, you can carry a jug of water. So,
MashaAllah. I
yeah.
got it. Good. Okay.
So they met Muawiyah and they stayed in his
Wait,
house,
wait,
all
wait, wait.
70 of them.
Muawiyah was one of Muhammad's companions. What Muawiyah have to do with these people? Where,
Um,
where did Muawiyah come from? I'm trying to understand how Ibn Kasir, that great theologian, that great scholar, come up with these names.
it's in the it's something to do with the jinn. That's my view here. I that's my story. I'm sticking by it.
Yeah, okay, I get it. You stick with it. You keep reading, brother. I'm almost ready to say the Shahada. I cannot wait for the next half hour to finish your reading so I can proudly say the Shahada and convert to Islam. MashaAllah.
So they lived in his house for a month, drinking wine, and because of the lengthy time they stayed, he experienced financial hardship trying to take care of them.
Imagine with me, brother, 70 people sitting in your house doing nothing all month long but drinking wine. How much wine do you have? And wait a minute, why does he go there? I thought they went there to take their 4-cylinder or 4 humps camel to get water. How in the world do you go somewhere for a whole month to get some water, drinking wine every day, and you forgot about your mission to get some water for your people who are dying of thirst? What is common? What is the common sense in this
You know,
70?
they need these people need to be tormented. I'm telling you now. They
MashaAllah.
need to be.
I'm glad that Allah said the torment on them. MashaAllah.
That is why he was embarrassed to ask them to leave. That's
Yeah.
why he wrote poetry to them to politely ask them to leave. Then they remembered why they were there. They stood up to ask Allah.
Wait a minute. I was thirsty for a few weeks and I traveled all the way to Mecca. May Allah bless Brother Muawiyah. He opened his house for us, or maybe his tent, because we were living in tent at the time, remember? With big columns. Yeah. And we get the first day, we drink not water, but wine. Wine. 4 weeks. And then the guy is almost broke financially to give them wine for all this time. And then they remember, wait, why are we here? Oh man, we're here to get some water. So I'm glad now they remember. Go ahead.
Yes, true story. That's why he wrote poetry to them, and they stood up to ask Allah to send rain. And Allah sent three clouds, white, black, and red. Then a voice came
Notice the
from
detail.
heaven.
Whoa. Notice the details. It's not any cloud. White, black, and red. That must be true. When I used to make up story to my friends when I was a kid, I'm not kidding you. I made up stories all the time, and my friends they thought I'm gonna be an author somehow because I can create story, and my story it make more sense, a lot more sense than Muhammad's stories of the Quran. And if I will interview one of them, they can I assure you what I'm telling is true. But I used to mix information in my story on purpose. So I said, and then the mud was there, and man, the mud was like that thick. When I walk in it and I slipped, and there was a big rock, white rock, and have a little bit reddish on the top of it. When I say that, my friends like, wow, you saw my son true story because the details. You always need to insert details in your fabricated story so you make it a true story. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me about the clouds.
Then he said, as a voice with well, Allah said, with a voice came from heaven saying, "Choose for you and your people one of these clouds." So he said, "I choose the black one. It is heavy with
Who is
water."
he? Who is he?
This must be Hud, or maybe this
No, no,
is
no, no,
Allah.
not
But
who.
it,
No, no, no. The one who spoke, choose one cloud, that's Allah. So who is he? You know, when I was
Allah
reading,
is choosing the
I was
black one.
reading, bro, I was reading the beginning and the end, Al Bidayah wa Nihaya li Ibn Kathir. When I was translating that, and some of the people who helped me to type, he said, so then he said, and they said to me, who is he? I said, I don't know. So I go back and read Ibn Kathir writings, and Ibn Kathir never mentioned who is he, or who is she, or who are they. But all I know is, even when Muhammad say, and one of them said, who's one? We do not know. And you just move on with the story, brother. Don't waste your time. He saw it. Yep. He said what?
Yep, just move on. And I choose the black one. It's heavy with water. Then Allah said, "You choose destruction, dust, and no one will be left in Ad, neither a father nor a son."
Wait a minute. What about Prophet Hud and the people who believed him?
Um, you're trying to confuse me with the facts, and that's never a good thing.
Okay. When he said no one, do you understand what no one means? I'm sorry. No one, N-O and then space and then O-N-E. No one means it means no one. That's right.
Nobody,
Okay, nobody. Okay. The people of Ad. Go ahead. Keep
at
reading,
least
brother.
the people of Ad who were in Mecca, were not harmed. They were the ancestors of the people of the second Ad. A severe storm brought destruction to Ad for 7 nights and 8 days. As for Hud and the believers who were with them, it was said that they were separated from the storm, so they were not harmed. It only softened their skin
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
and
whoa.
brought,
How you say?
le-
How you say? No one, and then you do separated. Why did it not say except Hud and the people who believed in him?
because
And
this is after the fact retroactive justifications.
oh, I see. Okay.
And the storm softened their skin. Basically, it was a moisturizing storm,
Oh,
and it brought pleasure to their souls.
oh.
Moisturizer and
Did they have
and
any
set.
massager, like a body massager, up and down there too, or no? No massager.
I'm, I don't know. I check with Ibn Kathir, but he knows. As for
Okay.
the people of Ad, the storm hit them with big rocks.
How big is the rock?
It's a normal storm rock size.
Oh,
I mean, a
yeah.
typical size of rocks in a storm. Don't you normally get those?
I thought this was big one.
Uh, yeah, but take a normal storm rock. I mean, just think in your head, what size is a normal storm rock, and then just think of a
And
big one.
that is and that is 100% a great fabrication of the great Muslim scholar Ibn Kathir. And you may say, okay, at least he did his best, and I say amen and move on to the next story, the story of Prophet Saleh. No, 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 no. He'll give you a different story and a different story and a different story, and Allah knows best. Go ahead, brother.
Wow. Another story similar to this is repeated. Ibn Kathir said in a similar way, maybe the second Ad was destroyed. While we said for the second ad that the cloud had lightning, but for the first ad was just a storm. The result was that the people of Ad became like tree stumps with no heads. And you don't want that to happen to you. So my recommendation is you start getting ready to say the Shah Na Na right after this.
Otherwise, you're going to lose your head. Off with your head! Off with his head. That's exactly a tree without head. Imagine human without head. That is
Yep.
using the sword of Allah, where Muhammad became rich from, and cut off the head of the Jews and the Christians and the infidels, those who worship idols. I think that's maybe what inspired Muhammad to do what he did with all those who did not believe in him all over Mecca and Medina and the neighboring villages. Go ahead, brother.
Right, in Quran 54:20, we read, people will be uprooted as if they were cut palm tree stumps.
Hmm.
Right, yeah, no, that was because the storm came to some of them and carried some of them upside down. Yep, and when they dropped from the wind, their heads were smashed as they were dropped upside down head first. They were headless bodies.
But wait a minute. If you turn upside down, head to the ground, you still have your head. It's just legs stretching out to the sky, you know? I understand. How can you lose your head by being upside down, man?
Yeah, no. So this is good stuff. This is good stuff. So the same message repeated in Quran 41. So we sent on them a tempestuous wind for unfortunate days, so that we might make them taste the shameful torment in the world's life. And the torment of the hereafter is more shameful, and they will not be helped. And it's repeated in Quran 54. Ad denied. So how was my torment and my warning? Surely we sent a roaring wind against them in a day of continued misfortune. People will be uprooted as if they were cut palm tree stumps. So how was my torment and my warning? So people, tell me, what do you think of how terrifying my story is?
Mm-mm. I'm
And
getting you.
indeed,
Yeah.
we made the Quran easy to remember. So is there any who remember? I'm trying to forget myself.
I would love to join you and forget about the whole thing, but keep going.
Notice here that the punishment of the people of Ad was one day, which contradicts what was written previously. Was it 7 days, 8 nights, 7 nights, 8 days?
Something
And
like
will
that.
be
But you know, the day that day was long day. It seemed like 7 days and 8 nights, but it was a long day.
I mean, it was the shout of truth that came, and the shout of truth was a
It
storm,
was so
a black
yeah.
cloud with rocks.
But you see, if you believe in God and the people of God and prophethood, according to a sermon given by a Muslim imam, I promise you, I can do you a sermon here, Brother Lloyd, a good 25, 30-minute sermon about Prophet Ad and prophethood and the people of Ad, and you leave the mosque, wow, wow, what a great sermon, what a great preacher, what a great Quran. But if you read that, which we're reading right now, what a stupid story, what a dumb fabrication, what a comedy, Ibn Kathir. So where
Yeah, no,
Muslim gets
and
it make a big difference. Go ahead.
no, and in fact, we have the specific details of what happened in Quran 51, verse 41. And in Ad, we sent the barren wind on them. It was a barren wind, and it left nothing as it came over, except it made it like decay. So
Yep.
the wind made everything decay, except it carried rocks and it dropped the rocks, except they had a torment probably from a flood, except it was the rocks that dropped,
Except
but the
every
wind.
time you give me except, you give me a different story. Contradiction, contradiction, contradiction. You don't have. I don't read in the Bible about Noah or about any of the people who were destroyed. Two different opinions. It's just one thing happened. You could not die this way and that way and the other way, all of them at the same time. If I'm talking about you, you died in one thing, one time, that way, not other ways.
Um, yeah, but
Yeah.
Ibn Kathir described the storm as barren. It did not bring
No, no, that's
clouds.
what Allah said. Barren wind. That is what Allah said. It does not bring any babies. Remember, that's not Ibn Kasir. That's the word of Allah.
Yeah, And it did not cause the trees to be pollinated, for nothing good from it came from it, only destruction,
Okay,
except for
so
the
it is
rocks.
about pollination or about no water? Did they go to Saudi Arabia, to Mecca, to drink wine for 30 days because they were getting going there to get some water, or it was just no pollination of the trees?
As Protestant believer says, this sounds like California, so this could have been happening in California.
Could be. Everything is possible.
I mean, remember they called earlier the people of Ad were called scum, and now you've got Governor Newscum. So
It could be repeated facts about what's happening in the past.
yeah,
We need to learn from the history of yesterday so it will not be tomorrow, brother. Go ahead.
yep, yeah, no. So learn from California, people.
Yep.
So in Quran 11:50 verse 60, we have 50 to 60, and to Ad, their brother Hud said, O my people, serve Allah. You have no other God than Him, that you are only forgers. And Ibn Kathir interprets this by stating that Hud spoke to the people, asking them, do you have any mind to differentiate, to understand that I call you to the truth? Your instinct should tell you it is the religion of truth which Allah sent to Noah. And Hud told them, here I am, and I do not ask you for my wages come from Allah, which has the
Mhm.
harm and benefit. Isn't that a common phrase just being repeated? My
Yes,
wages come from Allah.
everybody, even Muhammad in the beginning, he was doing his religion of Islam for free until he started getting the spoil. And then he changed his
Right.
mind. Yeah.
And then they repeat verse 51, O my people, I do not ask you a wage for it, for my wage is from him who created me. Do you not understand? Okay.
No, I don't understand. I'm trying.
So, all right. Quran 11:52 continues, and oh, my people, ask forgiveness of your Lord and repent to him. He will send down the heaven on you with abundant and increase your power over your power, and do
No,
not
it's
turn
not
away
you're
you
already
from
too
your.
tall. What do you need more strength? I mean, you're that tall. What do you need more power?
I don't know, but I'm going to get back to you as soon as I read the Quran and check.
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, here the Prophet Hud encourages people to turn to Allah and seek forgiveness for their sins. So he'd bless them with rain from heaven and make them a powerful people. But I guess they weren't listening. Ibn Kathir interpreted the following two verses defending the people of Ad. For they'd said to Hud, you have not brought us any miraculous thing to make us believe in you. We will not leave our idols just because of your word.
Ah, whoa, 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 whoa. Muhammad is speaking about himself. You understand that? The story made up, it's about Muhammad creating other prophet like he is creating himself to be a prophet. Well, we need some miracle, Muhammad. He said, well, miracles only with Allah. We need some miracle, Muhammad. Well, I'm just a warner. We need some miracle, Muhammad. Well, Allah sent them before and did not work. We're going to talk about that when we do our study about the miracles of Islam. And here's Muhammad saying, it's not just me, even the great prophet Hud, peace be upon him. His people told him the same thing. Show us something to prove to us that you are a miraculous, from miracle to prove us that you are a true prophet from Allah so we can believe in you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and we will not leave our idols just because of your words, for you do not have evidence. And we
Talk's
think you have
cheap. Lloyd,
become.
Lloyd, Lloyd, talk is cheap. I can talk to the whole world and tell them I'm the best prophet. I am the greatest prophet. I am the final prophet. But if I don't prove to them that I am really what I'm saying, why people believe me? It's just talk.
Yep. And we think you have become crazy.
You're mentally
We
ill.
believe,
Yep, you're losing your
yeah,
mind.
yeah, we believe our God struck your mind and made you crazy. Quran
Mhm.
11:53. O Hud, you have not brought us proof, and we will not abandon our gods at your word, and we are not believers in you. We say that some of our gods have smitten you with evil. Yeah, surely, he said, surely I witness Allah, and surely I witness that I'm innocent of what you partner without
You
him.
cannot be saying that. To witness, you have to see by your eyes. You have to hear by your ears, smell by your nose, touch by your head, taste by your tongue. I do not know how can that be a false prophet. He said he witnessed when in reality he's seen nothing. You see, Muhammad used the word yashhad all over the Quran. as it is founded in the foundation of Islam, the pillar number one, I bear witness there is no God except Allah, and I bear witness Muhammad, without understanding what does the word witness mean actually. They really believe Muslims understand the meaning of that simple word in the Arabic language as they say it every day 17 times without realizing what they're saying?
Yeah.
Goodness, yeah.
And he says, surely I witness Allah.
Yep, he
And
must
as
be true.
Protestant believers says, who is this surely?
Surely it's my cousin. She used to help me years ago to translate the Quran. She used to type for me and she said, surely, surely, surely. She said, I'm sick. She
Yeah.
actually, this, her name is Sister Mary. She said, I'm getting sick and tired of this surely. Can we put some other name? I said, no, keep it surely, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Any of
Yeah.
you who've grown up in the right period of history would know that line. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So I
55.
am innocent
50.
of what you parted without him. So all of you together scheme against me. Then you will not be delayed. And here Ibn Kathir says Hud challenged the people of Ad and declared his innocence from their gods, for they do not benefit nor harm. And then, of course, Ibn Kathir interprets the following verses by explaining that prophethood, the Hud, that's a prophet, was proven as the servant of Allah and his messenger. And these people were foolish in their service to other gods. So he says, no, you should depend and trust in Allah. And he goes, surely I depend on Allah, my Lord and your Lord. There's not a creature except he takes it by her forelock. Surely my Lord is on a straight way. So if you turn away, so indeed I've delivered to you what I was sent with to you. And my Lord will raise a successor nation other than you, and you will not harm him anything. Surely my Lord is a keeper of all things.
Once
Okay?
again, yeah, all things, Brother Lloyd, once again, even these words is repeated by other so-called prophets in the Quran. Same word, same message. By the way, that is actually the message of Muhammad to his people, those who did not believe in him. He did not know he's going to be using the sword a little bit later when he went to Medina, and he will behead them. He will literally kill all those who will not accept him. And he just glue it to Allah or threw Allah on top of it and said, Allah told me to do so. I've been commanded by Allah to do that. You have to say the Shahada or I'll kill you. So you see, what I'm trying to say here, the story of that prophet, the created story, it is Muhammad's invention to help him to make himself a prophet to the naive,
Yeah, no, that's what it
gullible.
looks like. He's trying to
Uh-huh.
justify himself here somehow. These
Yeah,
are
exactly.
justifications.
That is the whole purpose of why we have this, that made up story in the pages of the Quran.
I mean, we can just ask for details, and it's going to be, well, Allah knows best about literally everything in the Quran.
There is no
And
details about any story in the Quran, not any story. I challenge most, even Quran chapter 12, which we're going to get to it a little bit later on, study the story of Joseph. Even the best of the Quran is missing hundreds of details. And then we'll ask 100+ questions, and we challenge Muslims to answer one. Just answer one question. So Hud is nothing. There's nothing written there. Salih is nothing. Nothing is written there. Lot is nothing. There's nothing written there. Abraham is nothing. Nothing. I mean, literally, there's nothing written. I can read 4 or 5 chapters in the Bible and I get all the answers for every important question I ask. And I read the
right,
Quran back and forth, back and forth. I still do not know what I'm talking about.
yeah. I mean, these scholars don't have any specifics to share. And Ibn Kathir says it could be that both of them came together, the shout and the wind. That's the
It
wind with
must
the
be.
rocks.
It have to be. Was it
So
shout
what did
or
the
wind
shout
or
do?
rain? Was it storm or was it wind without polymerization?
It
Whatever
was
you
a
call
wind
it.
that killed things, but it was a wind that had rocks, and it was a shout.
Yeah. In the Arabic language. The shout was in the Arabic language, by the way, so you get it. You know which Yalawi!
Maybe,
Arabi! That's how we say it in Egypt. Okay, in the Arab world. Go
maybe
ahead.
you know what? Maybe it was a different kind of wind, and it went past people's noses. They felt the decay, and they thought it was a shout, but it turned out to be a different kind of noise.
It was a rock. It's a large rock. And when the rock hit the other rock, it made the sound of the shout. See,
No, we're gonna have to.
I can figure this out myself. I am so good, man. I'm so good.
So the verses give no details about whom these verses written about. Then we raised them up after them another generation. So we sent to them a messenger from among them that serve Allah, and you have no other God than Him. Do not fear. And Ibn Kathir stated the people of Ad thought it was unlikely for Allah to send a human messenger, and this way of looking at the Prophet was foolishness to the people in the early days and even in this day.
I mean, I love it when Allah gave us another thing happen after these people. That remember the 70 guy who went to the Mecca, you were drinking for shit. They did not die. Okay, they came back and they start a new act. And even those people also did not believe in Allah, and even those people disappeared. I mean, they died, they perished. And if you search for any of their descendants, you will never find. That's why the story is true. I mean, what is the great evidence that what I'm telling you is true? Because nobody is there.
But read this passages, Osama.
Yeah.
This is just a human like you. He eats from what you eat and drinks from what you drink. And if you obey a human like yourselves, then surely you'll be the losers. This for me is a reference to Jesus. He's a human like you. And this looks to me like it's a reference
And
to
Muhammad
Jesus'
used the
incarnation.
Muhammad used the same statement about every other person he claimed to be a prophet. And it seemed to me, even when he talked about Jesus, yeah, when talking about Jesus and his mother, they used to travel in the market and they used to eat like they eat. I understand that. That is the best. But Muhammad used it for everything else, for everybody else. And it's like, were the prophets supposed to be not a human? They're supposed to be not to be eating and drinking and go to the bathroom? I mean,
Yeah.
where's the idea? Where's the idea behind that? Oh, this guy cannot be a prophet because he eat. Wow, he's not supposed to eat. Even in the
Yeah.
Quran, when Muhammad talk about Abraham guests, the angels, they did not eat. When in reality, the Bible
I
says they
mean,
ate.
look, like for instance, me, I'm a YouTube prophet. I work, as everyone knows, 24 hours a day. I only sleep at night,
Yeah.
right? I mean, for instance, I was broadcasting for 24 hours over the last several weeks, but not in a row.
You talk like Muhammad now. I think the Quran have a great influence on your vocabularies that you use in similar words to that which is Prophet Muhammad and Ibn Kasir used. Go ahead.
And if you obey a human like yourselves, you surely will be the users. Like, so good thing Muhammad wasn't a human, right?
No, but that is the sinful people, the wicked people in who they. If you need to learn from their stupidity, don't repeat that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Allah can do anything except have a kid, come to earth, eat, drink. But Allah can do anything, literally.
Yep.
Back to Dr. Ibn Kathir. Does
Dr.
he
Ibn.
promise you that if you die and with dust and bones, you'll be coming out? Far away is what you promised. This is only our life of this world. We die and we live, and we will not be raised. He's just a man who forged lies against Allah, and we will not believe him.
Wait a minute. Forge a lie against Allah. That means there is Allah. I mean, think about it. If that man is making a lie against Allah, that means there's Allah. If there's Allah, that means there's life and death, and there is a resurrection, and there is the judgment coming after that. Okay, so are they believing Allah or not? Is this man is a true prophet or not? I mean, there's one thing you say that man is a false prophet, he's a liar, he's not telling the truth, what he's telling, that's not what Allah wants. And the other time, the other thing is you believe that you die and that's it. There's no life after that. There's no God. There's no life for eternity. See, when Muhammad is making up his Quran, not only he is speaking foolishly, but he makes the people in all these generations speak foolishly too. Contradiction in every statement, in every paragraph, in every story.
Yeah, and we will not believe him. He said, Lord, help me, for they denied me. He said, in a little while, they will surely become regretful. So the people of Ad disregard the resurrection of the flesh after it becomes dust and bones. They thought after death there would be no life. Okay? As many people of the old age believe there is no life after death, for the womb brings forth life and the earth swallows it. Then we get to another Quran passage. Right? So they called the messengers liars, although the story shows but one messenger, Hud. Interesting. All the messengers, but there's only one messenger. Okay? Ad
Yeah.
denied the messengers. Okay, I thought only Hud was their messenger. And then their
But
brother Hud said to them,
that is a, by the way, I guarantee you, I did not investigate this. But as I look at some other ones, whenever they translate the Quran into English, they always correct these things. They make it singular, messenger. Denies a messenger. When who is a messenger is Prophet Hud. But why Allah put messengers? We don't
yeah,
read that there was another messenger which was him. It's only
that's
Ad,
so.
and it's only
I mean,
Hud.
there's a lack of consistency that's really annoying. So surely I'm a faithful messenger, and he doesn't say anything creative. He
I
says
He did
nothing.
not say
It repeats
surely we
itself.
are. No, 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 no. If there was somebody was he just said surely we are faithful messengers. If I mean verse 125, he did not say we, he said maybe somebody else went with him.
Yeah, surely I am. But then he repeats certain stuff. My wage is on the Lord of the worlds.
Yeah, free,
And then
no
it's
charge.
kind of repetitive. Do you build in every high place a wasteful masterpiece? And do you take castles? Perhaps you will live forever. Okay.
Was he living in tent or was he living in castle?
Tents with pillars, don't forget.
Yeah, with
Have
large
you, have
pillars.
you ever gone camping and taken your tent and your pillars in your car? Think about it. You go camping, you take your tent and you take your
Yeah.
pillars.
Uh-huh. What pillars?
The pillars, that's how you hold up your tent.
Oh, the pillars. Yeah, the big one you put between the four humps of the camels. Psst, psst,
Pillars,
psst,
exactly, to hold up the tents.
psst, psst.
So,
Okay.
yeah, you need no such buildings because they used to live in tents. So Ibn Kathir gave another so-called proof by stating that some said that Aram was a city built of gold and silver, and it
Man, they
moved.
had more stuff to it. God help us.
And it moved. The city moved. S- This is.
Uh,
I'm sorry, but Sorry. This is repetitive trash. To read this, it's the same thing over and over. It's annoying.
that's
It's
why
really
I
like
always say these are not scholars, these are dumbers. And I found that actually there's no word in English. I said I wrote it in my book. You have to keep with it, okay? Add it to your
there is a
dictionary.
term that I like to use. I mean, are we talking about uh, bugger? Oops, what did I just do to myself here? There's a term that I like to use. I mean, these are scholars.
Oh, scholars, liars.
I mean, this is look seriously. What did they say that's new? This is simply the same argument over and over, slightly different ways of expressing it, but it's the same argument. It's repetitive. There's
But
nothing.
if you hold,
There's nothing
listen,
of
brother,
substance.
if you hold the huge amount of books written by Ibn Kathir, you know for sure he's a scholar. The size of the book speak volumes. So you have to repeat himself. You have to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, they repeat. Even though, I mean, there's little clues and hints here, but it's the same story over and over, the same repetition
Well, because
over
if
and over.
if you write completely different stories, then you have a solid contradiction. But if you twist a little bit, few words here different than here, you add a little bit more information, you take a little bit some information, you're still writing, you're investigating, you're digging deep, you know.
And whatever message you preach is created by you, and you have taken it from the previous books. Now, which previous books? That's
Oh,
interesting.
you know who's
That's
talking?
an accusation.
You know Muhammad talk about here? About himself. This is
Yeah,
when you read the people, they said, these are the story of the ancients. You're talking about, you open your Quran and you find nothing but the story of the previous books. What previous books do we have in Hud days? If he came in Noah's days, do you know that? If that is a true account, if that is, this zero book was written. Because Moses wrote the first four books, the five books of the Bible, literally 1,500 years before Christ, way, way, way after Noah, way, way, way after Had and the people of Ad. But you see, Muslim scholars working with Muhammad, help Muhammad, whatever Muhammad wrote, whatever they write, to give you the idea that what Muhammad went through in his time of preaching the truth about the word of Allah and the Quran, it's the same thing happened before, nothing new.
I mean, as the audience, what are you getting from this? Because to me, this is just repetitive. It's on the nose. It's trying to imply things. It's trying to shame and cajole people into believing. It seems to be an invented story with very little details, and simply saying, "Well, if you don't believe me, there's going to be destruction. You have to believe me now." It's crazy, and it assumes that people know, but there's no detail. And there's no evidence for this. There's no, I mean, Sodom and Gomorrah. I was reading, if you read biblical archaeology sites, if you go through some of the latest evidence, they seem to have credibly found Sodom,
Big,
right? They
big
seem
piece
to
of
have,
sulfur, this big, as big as a golf
yeah,
ball. The smallest are
there's,
bigger. So it's not a
there's
made up stuff.
there's evidence of destruction. There is evidence of fire. There's evidence of something that happened,
The
something that seemed to
location,
have fallen.
yeah, the
Yeah,
location from the biblical teaching is unbelievable. I just saw a show about it. When you read the entire Quran, you have zero evidence of anything, of anything.
yeah. Let me just go. Actually, let me try and find something here because, I mean, the stark contrast with. Let me see if I can bring up something here. Um, there's these various places that I found that have some. I mean, there's some great archaeology that's been going on. This is 2015, so this is fairly recent. Okay, it's 1980, and then it's updated. Where's Sodom? Okay, let's have a look here. Um, but here we go. I mean, this is a
I
tell
saw the
something.
same thing. Yeah, I saw what you're talking about. Same
Tel
archaeological
Al
evidence.
Hammam. Yes, that's it. So look up Tel Al Hammam on YouTube. You'll find there's some really great archaeology that you can find in Jordan, and the archaeology, the research is actually fascinating. It's
Yeah,
actually really interesting. I mean, you compare this with the lack of detail. I mean,
like
if you think about it, archaeologists use the Bible in support of their work. They use the Bible to locate things or to identify
location,
things they
places.
find.
Even though the Bible is not a geography book, but it will lead you to true
Yeah,
history in actual places today.
yeah, but
You
simple
you
fact,
could not do that
archaeologists,
with Quran. You could not.
yeah,
There's nothing in the Quran you can use to dig anywhere.
yeah, Trey Smith did a big video on it. Correct. Yeah, there's a fantastic video on Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, it's solid archaeology, at least to my mind. And yes, and they actually pulled sulfur out of the rocks and lit it. Yeah, and it's actually burned. The area was burned. There's a whole destruction layer. I mean, the archaeology is solid. The Bible is literally used to find locations, and the
Lloyd,
Bible is used.
for the
Sorry.
last 20 some years, the atheist or the unbeliever archaeologist are trying so hard to dig to find something to contradict the Bible, and so far they got nothing. Imagine people are literally sacrificing their life to dig in throughout this land. As we look at one of this map here, find something to show that the Bible is wrong. So far, they got zero false information.
Yeah, and the Bible is not only used to find places; it's also used to validate something they found, to give it
Yeah.
context, to give it a place. So the Bible will identify something they found. I mean, the more they dig, the more they look, the more they find. It's incredible how the
The
Bible.
earth, and archaeologists, the dirt prove that the Bible is true, and the Quran cannot prove that there's any truth in it.
Yeah,
All right, let's continue with our time. Before I don't want to take this another week, man. I cannot take
yeah.
that
Okay, let's
talk.
just finish this. So only a couple of pages left. I mean, but just the stark contrast is mind blowing for me. I mean, you
It
can read biblical
dark.
archaeology
It is
stuff.
dark
It's
and
so
night.
solid.
It is truth. Yeah, it is dark and light. It is truth and falsehood. End of story.
Yeah, I mean, as it says in the Quran, we don't even know where Saudi Arabia is on the map. There's one mention of Mecca. I mean, you don't know where Mecca is in, and it's not even mentioned in context with Muhammad. I mean, you
And,
don't
and,
get
and
any
by the
detail.
way, if you read the right name in my translation, it's not Mecca, it is Becca, B,
Yeah,
not M, which means it's the Mecca is not mentioned.
we all know these problems as well. I mean, yeah, so yeah. So the punishment of here is unfortunate days, but it's 7 nights, 8 days, whatever it was.
It
But
is
it's
seven,
one day,
yeah, no, 7 and 8.
and it's a storm with rocks and a big shout, something. So Ibn Kathir explained 7 nights, 8 days. He stated that Ibn Abbas said it began on Friday, but others it began on Wednesday.
Wow, look at
Maybe it
this.
began.
When they contradict themselves about when it started, was it Monday? No, it was Tuesday, it was Thursday. Now it's true because now
You,
we have a little bit disagreement about when it started. Wow, what?
Sama, sorry, you got it wrong. I
Uh,
can confirm it started on a day ending with Y.
Oh man, every one of them it was one. Unless you want to spell it different in English. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it
it
was.
says,
That was the right day. Yeah, I'm sorry, that was the right day. Mhm.
we know for a fact it started on a day that ended with Y. So there. So so for Ad, say so they were proud on the earth without the truth, and they said, who is stronger in power than us? Have they not seen that Allah, who created them, was greater than they in power? And they were disbelieving our signs. Maybe they didn't hear the shout. So we sent on them a tempestuous wind. They've Man, there are days I've had wind, and I can tell you now, I didn't think it was from Allah. So maybe the sign wasn't a good sign. Maybe they thought, hey, with that food we had yesterday, those beans,
Yep.
right?
How many days? Tell me about the wind. How many days? 4 fortunate days. Yep.
So we sent on them a tempestuous wind for unfortunate days, so that we might make them taste the shameful torment in the world's life. Yeah, I mean, I've had some eaten something that did not agree with me. I tasted the shameful torment the next day, and the torment of the hereafter is more shameful, and they will not be helped. I did not have any more helpings of that. I can tell
Oh,
you for sure.
I love it when Allah assured us they will not be helped. They're gonna go to hell, and nobody gonna help them.
Yep.
Makes
The
sense. Yep.
punishment of the people of sorry, the punishment of the people of Ad is shown here as a storm, which they obviously thought was rain. The story is found in Quran 46, verse 21. And remember the brother of Ad, when he warned his people in the dunes. And they lived in a big mountain in Yemen,
Yep.
that stretched from one place to another. But okay. But the mountain's not there anymore because the camels ate it or something. And indeed,
Maybe.
the warners have passed from between his hands and from behind him, that you do not serve any except Allah. Surely I fear the torment of a great day. But it's actually 7 nights, 8 days.
But it ended in the last day. It was really bad. That is the one he meant. Not the first 7 days. The last 6 days. It's the last day. So I got this one right. You go ahead. They
They
said,
said, have you come to us to turn us away from our gods? So bring us what you promised us. So, sorry, it was you. I fell asleep. Did they just repeat the same thing again?
but it's written in different chapter. Now we're in chapter 46.
Did they
You-
just literally repeat the identical
But what's
thing?
so amazing, Lloyd, look, if you put the verses side by side, which I did not do because I said that would be too much redundant. You see, it is almost the same but different wording. Okay, so it's almost the same, but they're feel like in every sentence they're gonna have 4 or 5 different words. But besides that, similar. Go ahead.
Surely the knowledge is only with Allah, and I am delivering to you what I have been sent with. But I see you are an ignorant people. Thanks, Mo. We can see you manipulating that puppet with your hand up its, you know. So when they saw it coming straight for their valleys, they said, it is a passing with rain. Yet it is what you are hastening with, a storm. In it is a painful torment. It will destroy everything with the command of its Lord. So they became such that nothing could be seen except their dwellings, nothing except their dwellings. Likewise, we reward the criminal people. Okay. Quran 53, verse 50. And that he destroyed the first Ad and Thamud, so he did not spare.
You know what? There was a first ad here. They actually, because of the word first ad, they created the story about the 70 men who went to Mecca to get some water, to drink wine while they're there for the week, for the month. That's when this wrote. So that is the second ad. Can you imagine? Just from one word, first ad, we know about the second ad. But go ahead.
Makes me want to say, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Exactly.
Because like this is, and that he destroyed the first Ad and Thamud, and the people of Noah before. Surely they were more unjust and rebellious. And he destroyed Al Mutafika. So he covered it, what he covered. Yeah, he did that. So which then of your Lord's benefits will you dispute about? And as for Ad, so they were destroyed with a roaring, violent wind. That's Quran 69, verse 6. He made it subservient against them continuously for 7 nights and 8 days.
Hey, they
So you
got the
see the
number, right
people,
number of days here.
yeah, well, so you see the people fallen in it as if they were trunks of hollow palm trees.
Is
So
it
did you
hollow
see if
or
any of them
not?
were left?
Oh, it's a hollow tree. or a headless tree, or upside down people? You know,
It's
there's a huge difference between hollow tree and headless tree. Headless tree is when the wind go 130, 140 miles and they break the top of the tree. Okay, palm tree standing up a good 30 feet, 40 feet high, but nothing in the top. It's dead. It will never work. Hollow means it's a tree standing there, but if you go inside the tree, the trunk of the tree is empty. That is a hollow tree. Which one it was? Is it hollow tree or topless tree? Keep going. Reading it finally.
um
That's a
Allah knows what he's talking about here. So
No, Muhammad forgot what he mentioned earlier, so he wrote it again. I love it when Muhammad repeat himself and he gave us different information. But go ahead.
Quran 89. Have you not seen how your Lord did with Ad at Iram, that with columns, which none like it was created in the countries? And Thamud, who hewed out the rocks in the valley, and Pharaoh with the stakes. Oh yeah, yeah, good stakes.
Yeah,
Those who rebelled in
by the way, because he believes that Pharaoh lived in a tent and he used to use the stick to hold the tent to the ground. When in reality, no Pharaoh lived in a stick. These are the Bedouin, the Arab, not the Egyptian. But that's okay. Go ahead.
this was the tent pharaohs. Those are the different pharaohs. Those were the this is like before the pharaohs were the pharaohs, they were like tent pharaohs.
All right, 10 Pharaohs.
So it's this is the part
I
this is
got you, man. I don't know anything about my people. That was 20,000 years ago. I understand. Yeah,
the
my people.
CIA is covering up this information. In fact, Mossad is hiding this.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
doing it.
This is what happens. So, but ask any Muslim, they've got the evidence to show you. They can prove this.
Yep, yep. I know.
Yep.
Can't
Pharaoh
wait.
with the stakes, and those who rebelled in the countries, so they increased the vandalism in them. So your Lord poured on them a salt of torment, and surely your Lord is ever watchful. Yeah, we're nearly done, nearly there. Ibn Kathir stated that Aisha, Muhammad's child wife, said that whenever a storm passed by, Muhammad used to say, "O Allah, I ask you its good, and the good of what is in it, and the good that came with it, and I seek refuge from you, its evil, and from the evil that has been sent with it." So when the clouds began to spread in the sky, Muhammad became anxious. But when the rain started, Muhammad relaxed. When Aisha noticed this, she asked him why he always said this prayer, and he said, "Perhaps the storm would be like the one that destroyed Ad."
Woo! Great evidence. Muhammad got the truth about prophethood. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So every
Yeah,
time you see a cloud, you have to say that prayer, Muhammad's prayer, because you don't want it to be with the wind 7 nights. I mean, 8 days, 7 nights. You
we
don't
don't.
want.
We need to start doing some archaeology here. We need to find these people and see the evidence, and maybe other people are living around there, saw evidence of this wind and the storm with the rocks and the big shout, and they went there, and everyone was planted upside down in the sand with their heads missing. I mean,
Mhm.
this would be a great sort of thing to find. You know, Ibn
MashaAllah.
Kathir ended the story by stating that Hud had performed the Hajj, as was in the case of Noah. Noah also did the Hajj, yeah, on his boat.
I know. Adam did it too. Remember?
Yep.
Remember Noah's boat? Remember, we read about Noah's boat circling around the Kaaba. The whole ship did the Hajj, man, for 40 days. Remember?
And the prince of the believers, Ali ibn Abu Talib, mentioned that the tomb of Hud is located in the country of Yemen, for sure.
It must be there. Yeah.
But others disagree. Yeah, others disagree and believe his tomb is in the mosque in Damascus. Or
We agree.
maybe
Agree.
it could
The
be in
message.
Greenland. It could be in the land of the Eskimos. It could also be in my closet. It could be under my floorboards. It could be in Missouri. It could
Woo!
also
If
be.
it's in Missouri, I can easily search for it and find it. We have to wait until the snow melt and we'll dig. We'll start digging, man. But the best thing is
I
in all what you read is the last three words there. What did you say? And what?
and Allah knows best. For
Sure, Allah
sure.
knows best. You think you know anything? Give me a break. You know nothing, sir. You know nothing.
No. And this story does not exist in the Bible. And the significant disagreements among the Muslim scholars discussed above and the vagueness of the information is enough internal evidence that the story was completely made up. There was no such person as Prophet Hud to the people of Ad. If it were true, the Bible and historical documents would have some mention, would have some kind of record. So yes, yeah, lots of fascinating stuff here, man. This was painful to read. Actually, this is
You know what? Every time I do one of these chapters with you, you always end by telling me how painful it is. You got a headache. You got maybe if you say the Shahada. You see, I talked to so many Muslims, and they said to me, "Here's the truth: the reason you don't believe in the Quran, the reason you don't believe in the truth of the Word of Allah in the Quran, the clear, easy to understand, powerful, holy book, the Word of Allah in the Quran, is because you're an infidel." And there is covering over your eyes as you read in the Quran. There is ghashawatun ala ayunahum. There is covering over their eyes they can't see. Akinna ala qulubum. There is like a covering over their hearts they can't understand. So, brother Lloyd, I'm willing to help you to stop being hurting, suffering, headache, confusion. Just repeat after me what I'm going to ask you to say in the Arabic language. I
no,
will
no,
tell
no,
you
no.
later.
The issue lies with the jinn. You see, if I
No,
had
listen, brother. I'm trying to help you, but you don't need my help. You stay infidel and you always
the
suffer. And
reason I
what
don't
I
understand
want
this
you
is I'm not drunk enough. I need more gin.
brother, listen. We are gonna start in the rest of the book. See how big the book is? I only so far we shared these few pages. I want to show them side by side. And then I have volume two, which is let me show you volume two. Here's volume two. It's volume two. It's the same thicker. You're gonna die with a stroke and headache and heart attack. And what else come up with it? Say the Shahada, save your life, and you'll understand
You
how
know what?
easy.
I need to say the Shah na na because at least they go, good night, sweet. Good night. Do, 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 do. You know? So, because they say, like, at least they tell you that, I think the show is over. It's time to go home. Good night, sweet. Man, I can get behind the Shah na na, but the
Listen,
Shahad.
I hope and I pray before you die, you will take my advice so you can find the truth in
No,
what
no,
you're
no, no,
doing.
no. You know what? The next time before we do one of these shows, I'm gonna have a gin and a tonic.
Believe me, if you drink a little gin, this amount of it, but in real the good stuff, it will make more sense. The Quran will make more sense. You don't even need to read Ibn Kathir. Just the Quran itself will be clear like crystal. By the way, just to let you know, the next story we're gonna have is chapter 6, Prophet Saleh. Woo! You're gonna read about the camel. Woo! And the people of Saleh, these wicked people who did not believe in him. So that is an amazing story. And by the way, it's not that big. I mean, literally, Saleh is only like, let me look here, let me look here. Come on, Saleh. Come on, Saleh. Oh my world. No, that's too much than I thought with this, man. I thought we maybe have to do two shows on Saleh, but I can't help you.
Starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's about 8, 9 to 9 pages, roughly the same as what we did today.
No. It's more than that. Chapter 7 is much longer, man. What are you talking about? Maybe somebody don't give you the right information. Chapter
Well, I'm
7,
not getting the right information from the Quran, so that's okay. So everyone, I wonder if you've been convinced that you feel that you now need
oh,
to say
no.
Shana
You're right.
Allah.
You're right, brother. Chapter
It's
6
short.
is small. Chapter 7 is a huge one. And chapter 7, believe it or not, it is not about Prophet Saleh. It's about Abraham, peace be upon him. Abraham will take a long time. Saleh will be a short one. Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
I
yeah, I
read.
hope that was enlightening, educational, entertaining,
No.
and
It's entertaining, yeah, but not education. There's nothing to be educated. I think we just wasted an hour and a half of our time for today. But
honestly,
it gives
this
me a chance
hurt.
to talk with you and see all your wonderful audience in the chat room and reads their comment. At least some of them are laughing. Even Christy sitting here in my studio and she just laughed. Every time you make one of your sarcastic comments, she's laughing, man. If you can make Christy happy once a week, hey, I will do it until we finish all of it.
Great. Now, guys, this is taking years of my life expectancy. So at least the very minimum you can do is to give us a like, share, subscribe.
Please. Yeah, with all the
You
suffering you
know,
go through with me every week, man, I will like it twice. I just hit like and like. Can you do a like twice?
yeah, yeah, yep.
Like us
So
twice.
so make jihad on that like button. And guys, yeah, this is good grief. This hurts to read. But yeah, I've got to go
Enjoy
and
the new
I've got
year, man.
now.
Yeah, enjoy the
Yeah,
new year.
so
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I've now got to go and plan electrical sockets, frames, and light switches. That's that's what I got on my bingo card for the rest of the evening because tomorrow
As you work and you do that, remember the people of Ad.
I will not forget them because those rocks falling on them out of that cloud with a shout that with the rain for 7 days over a day and I'm gonna sit there thinking, huh? Because I can feel the thought forming like, huh? Clear as mud, clear as mud. I
Yeah.
am,
And don't share this with anybody under 21 years old because that is hard to take if you're young.
you
You have to
know,
be old enough.
one day when I tell people, like they'll say, Lloyd, you used to be like teetotaler all your life, and then what happened? He says, then you started drinking heavily. I'm like, yeah, because I started doing the Quran with Usama, and the Quran drove me to drink.
Hey, don't you dare use me as an excuse for your drinking habit, okay? Don't attach me. I don't drink but water and coffee, and I've been reading the Quran now for 50 some years, so I don't want to hear it anymore.
Okay, no, because look, I mean, I'll be drinking to forget. So at the bar, they're gonna say, Lloyd, if you're gonna drink to forget, please pay in advance. You know,
How much you can drink to forget?
I have no idea, but one day I'm gonna have to find out at this point.
Are you
So,
willing to drink for 40 nights with your other 69 friend so you can match the people of Ad, the people number two of Ad the second?
uh,
They drink 40 nights. Remember, 40 days. 40 days, 40 nights. Wine.
30 days, a full month. No, I don't even. I barely drink
That's
anyway.
just
So
70 for 30 days. I apologize. Yes, 30 days. See, my
yeah, and
numbers are
Jonathan Damascus called it a stupid book, and I mean, it is an incredibly stupid book. It is. I mean, I know another famous prophet called who's the guy from Egypt? What's his name? The other
from
guy that the other dude from Egypt who also does his YouTube. I just forgot his name now. You see, I'm already starting to forget. I mean, he also calls it a stupid book because it is. It's an incredibly stupid book. God, it
but
hurts to
that
read.
is but you have to understand, we in the Muslim world made it so holy that you can't even touch it with your hand if you just touch your own wife, if you touch your own daughter. You have to wash before you touch the holy word of Allah. If you make it that holy, you have to believe it to be holy.
You know, did you finish your new Quran? Apparently, you're making a new Quran.
My Quran,
Yeah, you're making a new one.
actually, it's the same one, but what I did is I went through it again and I changed lots of the what I used to be nice to the Muslims. So I used to be very nice to the Muslims. I choose not to be any longer nice because I thought they're gonna love me and respect me for making the Quran polite. So I said, okay, I will take the have sex out and I'll put the F word in. If this make your
Oh,
Quran more
okay.
holy, then it is.
Uh,
I would take Allah out, the word small God, and I'll make it the leh. And then I explain that leh is
okay.
actually the God, and so on. So
Yeah.
what I did is I take all my polite way of presenting the immoral Quran to the world, and I just give it as it is. If Allah said F,
Yeah.
change it to marry or having sex.
Okay. I was thinking of Christian Prince. So
Oh, Christian
yeah,
Prince, he's
you
not
guys,
Egyptian, man. What do you mean he's Egyptian?
what is Egyptian?
No, he's not Egyptian. I wish he was Egyptian. I love the man,
What
but
country is
he's
he from?
from another country, from different mother and same father. That's how much I know him. He's from the same father, different mother from a neighboring country.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. Okay, guys. So well, we call it a night here. I got stuff to do. This has
Hey,
been painful
go
as
go
always.
drink some water and walk for 15 minutes or 15 hours. You will be clear, and then you'll not have any effect of this last hour and a half on you. See? I give you nice advice too.
So,
Drink a
guys,
lot of water.
remember, believe in Allah, or what happened to the people of Ad will
It will
happen
come
to
to
you.
you. It's coming to you. I'm telling you. Believe, believe, believe. All right. Thank you, Lloyd. The first great show for this year. Can't wait to see you next Saturday for Prophet Salah and the camel, man. You're
Yeah,
going to learn a lot about camel.
yeah, because next Tuesday, it's going to be tough. I'll be busy packing and boxing and moving and whatnot. I won't have internet till Thursday, but my computer may not be set up. So hopefully Saturday I should be good to go.
Well, you
But
just let me know. Either way, let me know.
the rest of the week, I'm not sure how my schedule will be. So, but anyway, guys, take care. Good night. God bless everyone.
God bless you.
Have,
Bye bye.
have a great new year ahead.